Happy eclipse season, my darlings. I am so excited about this video. I've actually already recorded it once, but something much bigger has to come through, so I'm really here for it. I can't wait. My eyes have been changing color. It's been a good time. Yeah. Honest to goodness. I have my at-home cocktail tray right now. Honestly, I have like the last little bit of my brekkie. I made a double espresso for today, and yeah, I've already had my morning coffee, which I brought to the gym, and then I had my tea for recording the first video, and now I'm having coffee again. I'm going to a really great talk later on tonight on like overcoming addictive behaviors and overcoming self-sabotage. And it's really like, I don't drink alcohol anymore. Like I've shared with you, I'm not ingesting cannabis via smoking. I do the tinctures, and it's really always good to have, just like we exercise every day, doing refresher works every day. I definitely am, my sisters and I are all here to heal different addictions within my family line. So I'm very, very jazzed about that. So I'm excited, but let's get started. Let's get started. Today we are talking about the full moon eclipse. The full moon eclipse in Libra. Man alive. And I'm recording this early. It is the 13th of March as I record this, and I just have a premonition that my human Sarah is going to be experiencing this really with you. So I'm going to, for my patrons, I'm going to be putting as much out and as early as I possibly can. I'm going to do the channel early, the reading early, and everything like that, so that I can really sink into the vibrations of like, just my guides are saying it's just like you're off-roading, Sarah. I'm like, yes, thank you for referencing channels that you've already given me. Thank you so much. So definitely, if this is the first time that you are here at my table, hello, welcome. My name is Sarah. I am a channel. I do very quantum work, very quantum healing work, and I'm a mystic, so I've gone up and down all the different rabbit holes. My human has been training teams and been in leadership for over 10 years, so I'm here to give spirituality, woo-woo, leadership, and personal growth and development a wonderful table to meet at, a wonderful handshake. So I'm here to help you make sense of the woo-woo. I'm here to help you, to give you some more accessible tools to put in your toolbox. So welcome to my introduction to this full moon eclipse. And just know that if you are watching this on YouTube, this is available for my patrons in my private Patreon group a bit in advance. So when you are ready to, maybe at the end of this video, go check out the Patreon group. It's listed in my biography as well as in the description of this. And I have a 7-day free trial. So if you want to try on the energies of that, as well as I have a playlist from it was December. I gave all of it out for free for my Christmas present to all of you, my holiday present for all of you. So if you're interested in kind of a little bit of the videos that's in there, definitely go check that out. And actually I do a lot more now. It's March 2024, so I have a full tarot reading in there, as well as like a bunch of different other things. So definitely, there's a 7-day free trial. If you're interested, go check that out. So I don't know why I'm holding the tarot cards first. We're going to talk about those later. Actually, we'll do that first. I'm going to give you a minute, pause the video, go grab your things. I'll give you the dates first, and then we'll talk about the tarot first, apparently. And actually, there's numerology mixed in, so I'm so excited about that. Let's get started. Pause the video. It's the Kumbaba Jasper. It's 3 billion years old. Waited long enough to meet you, so you can go get your things. Coffee, tea, some water, please, and your journal. Yeah, cool. So we are talking about the full moon eclipse that is coming up in Libra. And I would definitely recommend for you to go take a look at the Aries season introductory video. And I titled that video Off-Roading, like my guides have just, oh, and also if this is the first time that you're here, just know that I do very multidimensional work. So when I'm talking to you, if I'm staring off into space over here, it's just me listening to my guides, to God, the universe, my higher self, my understanding, all over here. And then I usually have another like past life tale going on over here. So just on my like general processing, I've got like 3 different universes going on at the same time. But then when I'm doing, that's all I have to say. So if I'm ever like, let's go out over there, it's really just me and you having coffee, just chit-chatting about the woo-woo, the astrology, tarot we're starting off with, and kind of some tips and tricks and kind of just some validation as to how you might be feeling and ways to navigate this really fluctuating time period. So I will give you the dates and then we'll get into it. And also I choose to invoke the energy of how we're all going to be feeling. So this is very Aries Libra, very like, and Mercury's in Aries, so it's just like spitting. It's just spitting. So Central Standard Time, this is happening on the 25th of March at 2 o'clock. 0200. I'm teaching you military time, so it's 2 a.m. The Gold Coast in Australia, the 25th of March at 1700. And Eastern Standard Time, where I am, 25th of March at 3 o'clock. Everybody on the planet gets this full moon eclipse. And so it just means the exact moment where the sun over here in Aries is a complete opposite side to the moon over here in Libra. That's just what that means. That's why we check the dates and we check the time, because everybody gets a full moon eclipse. So everybody on this planet is going to be experiencing this energy, whether they have this language or not. It's kind of, if you work in service, that running joke is that everybody understands, like, it's a full moon tonight, be careful. Everybody's going to be out and about and having a little toughie out there. She's going to have to hold him by his hand. Yeah, I'm choosing to waitress on this one. I know. This is going to be fun. This is going to be so much fun. So I'm not sure exactly what I want to title this video. What I wrote down was, be so secure in your vibe, it allows others to do the same. But then it matrix glitched and kind of, it said strange, be so strange in your vibe. But again, that's the handwriting. That's what it looks like. So it's possible to glitch. It's definitely possible to glitch. So, and also, I'll just say this. I know we're a few minutes in, but I want to say this before I get to the tarot. We never do the tarot first. This is so interesting. I have a new chair this is your chair right over here at the cafe table. So that's for you to sit down in. And so I'm getting a new chair. I'm getting a new, really incredible, it's like a queen chair. And it was funny. I was chatting with the woman at the thrift store. I just love her. She's a sweet friend. And I was like, yeah, this is great, because it's just like a high back and it's beautiful. It's kind of like the aquamarine color, which is my birthstone color. I love it. My birthday's the 23rd of March, and this is happening on the 25th, so I'm just excited. It's a good time. And so I was like, yeah, this is really great, because nobody can really see the table in my videos, so I don't know if my ostentatiousness comes off enough. I don't know if people are getting the vibe. And she's like, Sarah, they get the vibe. It's coming off. Don't worry. So I just wanted to say that ahead of time. But so apparently we're going to do the tarot first. So I have the tarot cards that represent, every minor arcana represents a specific decan of the astrological wheel. Everything is connected. So, and I'm going to timestamp all of this. So if tarot is not your language, just go right over to the astrology, go over to the channeled messages, and blah, 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 blah. So the Two of Wands represents the 0 to 10 degrees of Aries, this area right over here. General astrological wheel starts in Aries and goes all the way over to Pisces over here. So this is where the sun is in the sky. This is a very leadership-based card. I think so. But he also can get very bored. See how small the world is, in his hands. I never want us to get bored with our reality in any capacity. I want us to constantly be looking. I live on an island, a little East Coast island. And so the gentlemen around here, they just got the ocean in their eyes. They're just so enlightened and so lovely and wonderful. Like the Gloucester men, when they're just getting out of their truck, they're driving around the back shore at 5 o'clock in the morning and they're taking pictures of the sunrise. Actually, it was just daylight saving time, so it's later on. But it's just it's so pure. It's just so pure. I just love the community that I am blessed to be a part of so much. And just so we never want to get bored with our reality. Also, when it comes to manifestations, when it comes to trauma healing, when it comes to all these different, and I speak in lenses if you're new here, so I wear these big old glasses, so I speak in different lenses that we can view this in. If you are bored, if you feel like I've done all this work, I've done all this unpacking, I want to know what's next, I want to know what's behind door number 1 over here, universe, and the universe has not opened that door for you, be in your boredom and look at it like a slingshot and just be like, You're going to be grateful for this boredom now because in a few weeks you're going to be in a different reality. So trust the timing on things, but just know that since you're here at my table, it means that you're a leader. It doesn't matter what actual title you wear in this world. My quest is to help find and help guide the new leadership team for the awakened new earth. So if you're here at my table, you're on purpose. It is by no accident that this happens. And also, just to highlight, just like it says in the description, my voice is meant to unlock different codes and understandings inside of you. And I know I do very quantum work, but just sit here with me and have your little espresso, have your coffee or tea, and then wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, I kind of understand what the quantum universe is. I kind of understand multidimensionality. I kind of understand this. Just let it marinate. Let it saturate in. That's exciting. So yeah, especially for my Aries placements, just you're good. You're good. Just be in it. Know that you're a leader. Think about the future version of yourself, like we talked about on the new moon, and just like think like they would think. But this is, like I had said in the March 2024 introductory video, as well as for the new, actually, it was just the March eclipse season. I mentioned this numerous times. We literally have to hand the reins over to God. We have to hand the reins over to the God of our understanding. And since we know that we are consciousness having this human experience, I am not Sarah the avatar. I am the consciousness, the space and space that I come from. And so for eclipses, normally we manifest on the new moons and we release things on the full moons. We give the reins to God. And so if our soul's purpose, I'm putting these in quotation marks because they are clickbaity little things, and that's not what I'm saying, but I'm just listen to what I'm saying before I say it. If your soul has gone off course, sorry, that was like my Boston coming out, course. If your soul has gone off course, darling, the eclipses are going to smash you back on track. So if you've been doing your inner work and you've been processing and you feel a little bit of boredom like this guy here, know that something's big is coming. If you're still in it and everything is just kind of like a little bit like the Aries season introductory video, if you feel like you're off-roading, this is when you get the soul people in your life to come in. I have a very strong belief that although this full moon is happening in our house of relationships, depending on really what trajectory you've been on, and I'm going to put the link for the North Node in Aries video, relationships are drastically changing video. Oh my goodness, yes. And then what is the collective consciousness as well as the generational quest. So I'm going to put all of those bits of information. These are lenses that you can view this time period through to understand, why are people falling out of my life? Why are these new people coming in and I feel like I've known them forever? Truly. It's like, and I had said this, I think, in the Aries equinox video. If just looking at me and the sound of my voice is like, I feel like I've met you before. Yeah, do you think this is the first time that I've been teaching you? Do you think this is the first lifetime that we've been together? No, it's not. That's what trusting the vibration is. It's good. It's good. Yeah. So this is where the sun is in the sky, and this is 0 to 10 degrees of Libra. And so just like Libra, cardinal air energy, very, very quick thinking, there's two different ways we can view this too. Is, she's straining to protect her heart. She's straining. She put that blindfold on herself. This could be like lying, the negative side of Libra, the South Node in Libra as well. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we talk about the astrology. So I never want, how do I even want to say? If you feel as though you've been lying or I'll reference this again, but if you feel as though that you've been lying by omission or misleading someone to keep them in your life, or if, when I say like just be yourself, be your authentic self, and you're like, Sarah, well, if I'm my authentic self, I'm going to lose some people in my life. If they knew how conservative I was, if they knew how this I was, if they knew how this I was, then just know that you're lying to them by omission, and know that there's an equal and opposite action to that action, and that they are lying to you too in some capacity, So this could be a turning away from external things and going more inward. A lot of the times I recommend for people, if you have the capacity to, take the day off. Take the day off. It's a Monday. Take a long weekend and take the day off if you can. I'm actively choosing to participate in the outward world in an exploratory type of a way. I'm very, very excited about it. It's kind of like when I catered a wedding. I think it was like a full moon in Sag. It was a great time. Like I'm literally dancing, serving potatoes. I'm like, this is awesome. Oh, it's hot. It's raining. It's great. It's great. It's only by like the third turn when they try to stay late that I'm like, yep, I'm out. So if you've been lying, accept yourself, and we'll talk about some mirror work that you can do. I'm going to just make a note so I don't forget about that. But if you have been feeling like very exhausted and active and different things, then just take some time to rest. Just take some time to rest. And like, if you napped all day for this one and you just like set your intentions to just like have your guides and your angels and the God of your understanding like give you healings for this entire thing, and just say, I'm excited for what changes are coming. If I'm bored and I don't have the path, it's because there was a door number 4 that God has been hiding from me, and he's going to open it for me, and he's going to go, let me check my makeup and change my ensemble and walk through it as the bad A that I am. Yeah, I'm not swearing anymore, and it feels great. So all of the mother fathers and the shucks o'fogarties that I'm going to throw at you, it's a good time. So this is where the sun and the moon are. Oh, this is the one I wanted to show you first. So this is the Libra card, the major arcana, the Libra card. And I find this to be a fascinating card. So you can see the justice scales, the Libra scales. But what we know about the scales, you know, the glyph over here, is that there's never a point where the scales just like, everything's balanced now. Haha, we can do things. No, it's a constant ebb and flow. We got to flow with the oceans, just like we flow with the sun and the moon. We flow with the current. We go with the energies. It's that parable that my guides had said a few years ago. I've shared it numerous times, which was surrender to the current, which is, yes, surrender to the current moment, one side of things, but then like think of getting caught in a riptide. If you surrender to the current and you don't flash around like that, you'll get pooped out into your other timeline. But if you try to freak out and you have all these experiences, then you're going to have a bad time. The reason that I brought the strength card over as well is because in some tarot decks, and we do tarot in the Patreon group, I do a reading for each new moon and full moon, I just have to say that. In some tarot decks, strength is 11 and justice is 8. We are in 2024. We are in an 8 year. We are in the Chinese, I think it's the Chinese year of the wood dragon when it comes to numerology and things like that. So I found that to be fascinating. And, you know, there's a tarot book that there is like a very, very odd, very ambiguous, like, nope, we just chose to change it and that's the way, which is, you know, it's just welcome to 2024 type thing. But I love, because strength is the Leo card, 8, number 9 is the Hermit, Virgo, 10 is the Wheel of Fortune, we know that, and then 11 is Justice, Libra. So Leo, Virgo, Libra. So it goes in order. So that does make sense. So I reckon living into this vibration, and it's also like, I'm sure that you've heard some things like very clickbaity stuff like, oh, the bad guys are going to get their comeuppance. It's not like that. It's just, if you've been lying, you'll be shown to be lying. I'll talk about that. If you've been doing things in a positive way, but you don't feel like anybody is seeing you, I'm just having a full body chill on this. Someone's going to see you, someone important that's going to be like, you're awesome. And share your content, share your page, or share your something or other. Really, it was like I was interviewed by this really incredibly gifted author and like YouTuber and like influencer, like this really incredible person, Marco J. Williams, and I had reshared one of his stories onto my page. And I've shared his stuff before. I've been following him for a while. It was one reel that I posted, and he saw it and he's like, hey, I just checked out your page and I just love your past life tales and I love the way you present it. It's very specific. And I did an interview. So just know that it doesn't matter if you think that you're doing things quietly or silently. The universe sees you, truly. And I talked about that in the roundup in the Patreon group. Like, it doesn't matter if you feel as though you've been doing things and you've been in your Rocky montage so quietly and so silently. The universe, God, sees you and sees your energy and sees your worth. Yeah, don't judge yourself. The last one I wanted to, or two, this is a Libra card. She cut herself free. So again, number 8. This is her at the beginning, blindfolded, tied up. No one's coming. She tied herself up. There's no one coming. These are trauma responses. No judgment. We've all had this time period. And it's like, it's a lot, but accepting I am not what has happened to me in any capacity. I can be the most authentic version of myself, and I trust that my vibe will attract my tribe. I trust that what I am meant to do, my soul's purpose, is looking for me as I am looking for it. That's interesting. That's just like coming to my mind right now, which is if you don't know your soul's purpose, or if you've not met your, partner in this life, if you don't feel like you're a part of what it is that you're supposed to be a part of, this is the time that people are going to come together. This is the time the universe is going to bless you with the right people. This is the time you're also going to be falling more and more in love with yourself. Truly. That's the first relationship I want you to have. There's no one outside of yourself. There's no job. There's no title. There's no following. There is no subscriber list. There is no amount of money in the bank that could ever replace you loving yourself and loving your time with yourself and loving the person that you are and the person you're becoming and the person that you were. It is just the most important relationship. And I talked about that in the Aries season introductory video. So definitely I'll put that at the very, very top, because I had a client session the other day and she spoke so eloquently of this, where getting to know yourself is the most difficult, excruciating, powerful, blessed, lovely, important work you will ever do in this world. Yeah, like she ran things. And her whole family looks to her, her team looks to her, all of her, tenants look to her. Like, it was just so beautiful for her to say, I'm getting this reading so that I can be a better leader. Powerful stuff, powerful stuff. So if you're interested in a one-on-one session, the email address is always below. So let's get into the astrology now. Oh my gosh. It's just a little warm water, some warm filtered water. It's just, I've been drinking water like it's my job as of late. And I know I drink a lot of coffee, but it is what it is. It's my chosen one. Everybody gets two. Everybody gets two, in my opinion. So let's look at the astrology. Like I said, this is the general wheel, which starts over here in Aries and goes all the way around over to Pisces over here. So you know nothing of astrology. This is your first time. You're a leader. You don't even know what this is behind me. So I'll just talk about the view, and then I want to get your understanding. So this down here, this area of the chart, this is the roots of the tree of your life. This is your cultural ancestral roots right over here. Safety is key. This is Gemini. This is Cancer. And over here, this is our more public life. Legacy. This is Sag. This is Cap. So public image. The MC is our highest aspirations, our highest career aspiration, legacy aspirations, all the things over here. This is our relationships, what we do every day, the important people that we do it with, shared possessions, all that fun stuff. And then over here, this is self, soul purpose, but also in the beginning. So there's like an ever so slight focus on self, ever so slight focus on soul purpose. What am I supposed to do? Money, please, all of these things. Community. That little guy. Don't worry about that little guy. Name that movie. Go ahead. But so we'll break it down. Sun, it's like the lighthouse in the sky. Our collective ego, what we're focusing on in the sign of Aries. And I won't repeat everything that I said in the Aries video, but it's very me. It's, Aries, infant baby ram, baby and daddy rolled into one. So me. We have Chiron, the north node, and we have Mercury over here in the house of Aries. So Mercury will have a retrograde. It'll start on the 1st of April. So it's just, I love that we have a Mercury retrograde in the middle of eclipse season. So again, we're giving the reins over to God. Retrogrades are not anything for us to fear, or there's no bad transit. There's no bad planet. There's no bad tarot card. There's no bad any of this. It is just how you face it. It is just how you navigate it. That's it. That's literally it. Like if you can prevent making big decisions in a Mercury retrograde or in a Neptune retrograde, that's amazing. We know that Mercury is going to go direct. Yeah, it's going to go retrograde on the 1st of April, and then it goes direct on the 25th. So it's literally a few weeks. That's it. So we can plan around that. We can make bigger decisions now, and then we can make smaller decisions then. It's kind of a dear friend of mine. She did her PNS during a Mercury retrograde, and everything went fine with that. but the tenant above her had some piping issues. So it's like expecting the unexpected. Just like the Aries video, like we're off-roading and we don't get upset when we bump our noggin because we're off-roading. I literally bumped my noggin. I tell the whole story of it, yeah. We don't get upset when we're off-roading or whitewater rafting. We'd be like, oh my God, there's so much water. There's so much bumpiness. We know that that's what to expect. So knowing this, when we see ourselves, speaking very bluntly, Mercury and Aries, when we see people around us speaking very bluntly, when we have Venus and we have Mars in Pisces, our assertive planet Mars does not like to be in Pisces. That's mutable, negative water energy. And then we got negative side of all these things: lying, deceiving, and shoom between the eyes. That's kind of the energy that we have here. So as we evolve and we become the most authentic versions of ourselves, yeah, nowadays, if you've been doing this work, you can smell a liar from across the room. You can smell them from across the room. So I want to also highlight, with Saturn and Neptune have been in Pisces for a while. Those are sitting around, but Venus as well as Mars in Pisces, we'll look at it as lenses. Venus in Pisces is like, yeah, we met yesterday and that's the love of my life. And Mars in Pisces, yeah, we're going to move in together. Yeah. You'll know. When you meet this person, they will be the love of your life, and they will be the person that you're meant to move in with. And they will be the person that, and I don't believe in like soulmates and twin flames and any of that stuff. I just did like it's just clickbaity and it doesn't serve me. But you are meant, let me rephrase. You can have an 8 out of 10, a 9 out of 10, and a 10 out of 10 person, and you can all have beautiful lives together. So just like think of it as these 3 people on the dating game of life in Aries season. You got door number 1 is an 8 out of 10, door number 2 is a 9 out of 10, and door number 3 is a 10 out of 10. So when you're presented with these, physical challenges, or these, people in your life, go slowly. You can't mess up the person that you're supposed to be with at all. You can't mess that up. You can't mess up that connection. So go slowly, enjoy the courting, enjoy it all. As I do, I feel like this is going to bring very unexpected people together. The people that you're like, that one just came out of left field. I had no idea that person was going to come in. I was just hopping and skipping down Main Street, just in my own little alien bubble. And then I saw them just hopping and skipping down Main Street. And they were like, you look kind of cool. And you're like, you look kind of cool too. So that's just the way that I feel about this. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, Mars doesn't really like being in Pisces. So there's a lot of, and we've talked about timeline splits. We've talked about, and I think it was in the Aries introductory video that I talked about really like navigating that. I think I have an entire video on navigating, parallel timelines. I'll see if I can find that. Separate, I do. Because I feel as though, it's a Libra full moon, so you got to show up. You got to dress the part and dress for success. So one of my foundational rules is always put your best foot forward. Dress for yourself, dress for success. Always put the best foot forward and work smarter, not harder type of a thing. So it was actually the fit. Honestly, that was why I didn't even like watching the last video, because I record them and then I have to sit at the table with Sarah and listen to all the advice that she gives. I was like, I don't like this look. I don't like the hair. I don't like any of it. So that's when I know that it wasn't the vibe, My guides and higher self are just like laughing at me. It's a good time. And as I was just like put on my jumper and stuff like that, they're like, there's a bigger type of a download that to come in. So if I'm ever diminishing myself in any capacity, I know it's not the vibe, and it's just, I got to show up full hog for y'all. So navigating separate timelines. So I want us to really blend our metaphysical practices with our leadership and personal growth and development tools. We don't mislead people. We don't lie. I will be the first person to tell you if I'm not the healer for you, if I'm not the channel for you, if I'm not the guide for you. If I don't know a piece of information, I will just say, I don't know that. Let me go find out for you. There's no thought on this planet that hasn't been thought already at some point in time. There's no information. Nobody's reinventing the wheel. I'm not the only channeler, astrologer, like tarot reader, none of those things. It's just, if the sound of my voice and my presentation resonates with you, then this information is for you. If not, you can just scroll past and just find someone else who does it. There's nothing that I am saying that hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people on this planet can do. And every single bit of my, like extrasensory abilities, you have the capacity to do as well. So I'm here to empower you to put these tools, whittle them yourself, put them in your toolbox, and then fly, little baby bird, fly. So, okay, I want to see if I can do this. I said let's do some mirror work, because this is about relationships. So we've talked about all of this over here. And I'm going to do an entire video on Jupiter and Uranus conjunct in Taurus, or together in Taurus. That conjunction isn't happening till April, until Taurus season. So I'm going to talk about that later on. But that's a huge deal. That is a huge, huge, huge deal. So if you're interested in some information about that, then the 2024 astrology forecast download, that is for you. It used to be $44 and I've discounted it by 50% to $22. So that link is below. It's a Gumroad download. So definitely go check that out if you're interested in information about that right now. But I'll do a whole video on that later on as we get closer to that. So like I said before, we're doing some mirror work. So this is about relationships. Then this is like what we're releasing, full moon, what we're releasing. Lilith is our daily life. Chiron conjunct the North Node in Aries, a little bit of a wince. Saturn in Pisces is helping to really divide the timeline more, to say Saturn in Pisces is really giving us the chance to discern, is this for me? Is this not for me? Saturn, our interdisciplinarian, and Pisces, mutable negative water energy. Does this actually vibe with me? So if you're doing that exploratory research and you're doing that work and you're speaking from I statements, and you're taking a moment between action and response, then you're going to be able to say, that's not my vibe. This is my vibe. That doesn't resonate with me. That does resonate with me. That doesn't resonate. Like, is it this or is it this? And definitely check your human design as well to see like how your body is responding to all of these different things and how your body processes those things. It's something that I'm fascinated by. I research as much as I possibly can. It's just like time is so precious and it's one of the only commodities that we really like need to be so specific with. But that's definitely something that I am in no way a master of that. So find out what your human design is. Myself, I'm the projector. I'm a splenic projector. So sometimes I have a penetrating aura. So the amount of time I get to spend with myself is more important and imperative than I could ever possibly imagine, that I can ever possibly describe to you, because I just effortlessly can, my energy saturates into you, and it's this is how you can solve all your problems. Yeah, it's just right there. It's just right there. It's right there. So anytime back by myself, with myself, to just kind of be like, this is the true you. This is the true you. So what was I saying? The mirror work. Okie dokie. Also, the negative side of Saturn in Pisces is people becoming more disillusioned and more rigid in that belief system, like the he's not back type of a vibe. But that's the timeline split. And like I said, I'll put the link below for how to navigate that, how to navigate relationships are drastically changing. I have tons and tons and tons of resources for you. So the mirror work and the kind of before this full moon, before this eclipse, or as soon as you can, if what I'm saying, and this is not judgmental in any capacity, I've been there. I've gone back to look at different eclipses and different patterns in my life to be like, yeah, you were miserable in that relationship. Yeah, you really didn't like him. Oh, but then you bought a house together. Okay, cool, awesome. Yeah, yep, no. So I've been there. I've done these things. I have an entire playlist on my Waking Up Post-Woke series, which is my most embarrassing tales and my human story, but it's more important for me to share that with you in an authentic way so you understand where I'm coming from and why I can speak to all of these things. So you have some people in your life, you have a community that you're a part of, and you just don't really vibe with them anymore. And you've known this for a little while, or you're in a partnership, you're dating someone, and it's really not for you. I want you just to go to the mirror and talk it out with yourself. This is cardinal air energy that we're going into, Libra, and the South Node is in Libra, in no way conjunct in any capacity, but we have the South Node in Libra for the entirety of 2024. So this is something you can do at all times. And just talk to yourself, with yourself, and just say, okay, I have been lying to this person by omission or to their face and they are not meant for my timeline. I've been afraid to be alone, or I've been afraid of how people are going to think of me, how they're going to judge me, whatever that may be. I need you to get the book out, get it out. Write it down if you want, or just talk it out with yourself. Actually, I would really recommend you talk this out with yourself and just see what comes out, because that's a great first step in understanding that you are consciousness running this human avatar, but your human avatar has their preferences, has their specificities, has their traumas, big T, little t, and has the, all the pages of the DSM-5 that you're on. I don't know if it's the 5 anymore. I have no idea what DSM they're on, but we're all psychological pages of that book. We're all astrological signs. We're all whatever type of coding system, human design, Enneagram, whatever it may be. But you're an amalgamation of all these different things. But you don't have to be that. We understand this. So we're saying, okay, it's going to Chiron conjunct the North Node, feel awkward to be my full self. It's going to feel awkward, and South Node in Libra, but it'd be super easy to lie. Yeah, it'd be super easy to lie. Doesn't mean we're going to lie. That doesn't mean we're going to be Bambi. We're going to be awkward. We're going to do it anyways. If you, like a little baby, the first time that they try to walk and then they fall on their tuchus, but they just say, that was it. Never going to walk. No, they don't. They just keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it until it doesn't feel awkward anymore, and then they just do it. And then a little baby, they don't know how to tie their shoes. They don't wear Velcro forever. They learn how to tie their shoes. So whatever you're meant to be doing, North Node in Aries, conjunct Chiron, it might feel weird. You might be the first person in your family line to do something different. You might be the first person to even, stop the addiction cycle, or, be the first entrepreneur, be the first self-made whatever in your family line. So it's going to feel awkward. It's going to feel awkward. My guides are just reminding me that, know that you don't have just the ancestral trauma, and this isn't just my language, but your ancestors are trying to bless you as well with their ideas, with their gifts, with their understandings. So think of if, grandma you knew was super duper intuitive, and she never used it. That intuition, she's trying to give to you. But if you're sitting around worried about the people at your table and you're judging them and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this friendship. Yeah, get out of the friendship, or the eclipses are going to do this for you, and then you'll be able to spend time in meditation with grandma, and you'll be able to receive those gifts and those understandings. I'm hearing some of you say, my life is so busy, Sarah. I don't have time for all of this woo. I don't have time for all of these things. Well, how do I say? By listening to this, having this on in the background, maybe start a dream journal. And before you go to bed, ask, not just saying this is the dream, talk to your dreams. Say, okay, I would like to sit during my dreams with grandma, and I want to talk to her at the cafe table. I'm going to talk to her about all these things. I'd like to meet her in a very accessible way. If we know that our souls are infinite, and we know that this isn't just a one fractal of a reality that we're experiencing, and we kind of understand astral traveling by dreams alone, so then use that time efficiently. Yeah. It's like delegating. It's nice. I'm just listening to some of you. I am in no way trying to make this overwhelming. I pack about 6 months of work sometimes, if this is the first time that you've been here, into these videos. Again, if you just listen and just have some coffee and tea with me, maybe go for a walk, drink tons of water, my voice and looking into my eyes will unlock certain codes and different things inside of you that you will have integrated and understandings later on. I'll give a little example. So I am studying Italian, and I know that I have lifetimes in Italy. I'm a descendant of Botticelli. I'm very, very excited about that, and it's an absolute blessing. And so I can get very frustrated on myself as soon as I open my Italian books, and my tutor can speak to this, where I'm like, why hasn't the language just downloaded itself? It's in my Akashic records. Why isn't it downloading itself? That's the reason that I waited until I was in my mid-30s to start studying Italian, because I literally thought it was just going to into my brain. And so when I am doing other things, or when I'm reading, you know, Tolkien, when I am just meditating, when I'm doing all these other things, I delegate different astral bodies of mine to be studying Italian 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so what happens then when I wake up, it's not so much that like new words have come in, but new conjugations just make sense. Different types of like understandings just make sense. The loro goes under behind the piacere. Like it just starts to make sense in ways that when I'm studying my human is like, what is going on? So just delegate that out. Delegate that out in a very accessible way. So the mirror work, really talk to yourself and find out what's underneath it. You can do like shadow work scripting with this one, or journaling. Shadow work, like, why do I not feel as though I'm worthy of healthy people? Yeah, why do I diminish myself? Like, really see what's underneath it. And there's probably some childhood stuff. There's probably some adolescent stuff tapped in there. And we're adults now. So when we see these types of experiences and these types of patterns come up, again, we just acknowledge them and say, hey, little Sarah, you're safe. Hey, teenage Sarah, like, and yeah, you got to talk to your inner teenager. You got to be harsh with them. Yeah. It's not, because they will destroy your life. They will come in and they will destroy your entire life for attention. So just like, it's there. So there's one aspect that it's the only aspect that I'm going to highlight astrologically, which is there's a sextile between Venus and Jupiter. So Venus right over here and Jupiter, and it's off by a little, it's like 16 and 15 and change. So 15 degrees of Taurus and 16 degrees of Pisces. And I've talked about sextiles before. It's like kind of like when you show up at the party and your favorite cousin is there and you're like, it's free flowing. I wrote down harmony, and they're beautiful planets. Venus and Jupiter, absolutely lovely planets. In Pisces and Taurus, this is lovely, lovely flowing energy. And I just love how it's sextiling like over. So these two are connecting over the actual eclipse. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? And so that to me just says that we're going to have, it's like amicable. Everything is just, we have to live into the vibe and live into the graciousness that we are. And I totally forgot. I'm 41 minutes in, 42 minutes in, so I apologize. What I wanted for you to really ask yourself going into this time period, going into this energy, because really eclipses, it's like from the last 6 months ago and then for the next 6 months. So this is just big brush strokes. These are big overarching energies. So I'd love to ask yourself, and we've been talking about this, I know, for a while, values, Jupiter and Uranus and Taurus. What are my top 5 values? What values define me regardless of where I am? Honesty for myself, peace, family and like chosen family and friends. My community is of the utmost importance. Being of service. I'm forgetting one. Honesty, being of service, community, family, peace, and processing. And so if I am doing that and scrubbing a toilet, I'm doing what the universe and God has asked me to do. I will always put my best foot forward. I will always put my whole oomph into everything that I do. And so going into this energy, because we know that we can't soapbox it. We know we can't, because we change literally every single day. We know that we can't just like declare to the world, this is who I am. Because yes, we live in a polarity-based reality. It's how my guide says it, so I always put on her accent. And we know that there's division all around. But if we took the labels away, I want to take the labels away. I want you to know what your 5 are, and then pretend that you can't speak. Pretend that you cannot say, those are my values. You can just be that way. You can always be honest. And that's something that I left in 2023, is lying by omission. I would sometimes be talking to someone that had very different belief systems than me, and I'd person up. There's always a crass joke that I want to make there, but I think I've made it before in like Sag season, but I'm not going to do it here. This is Aries and Libra season. We're a little more put together than that. But if you know, you know. You're just person up scared. And so what I decided to do is that once someone has shared with me their belief system or their frustration over some big scary thing that's out there, I would just say, oh, thank you so much for sharing. That is in no way my paradigm. That is in no way my life or my belief system or, you know, the reality that I live in. But I really appreciate that perspective and I respect you for it. Thank you for sharing. And maybe later on, sometimes people have been like, well, what is your opinion? What is your, you know, reality? How do you think about this? And that's when I would say, oh, you know, this is what happens, you know, to me. And I'll give one example. Sometimes my guides are like, okay. So I was chatting with a coworker one day about, you know, his girlfriend had, you know, gotten like a tickle in her throat, and she was so upset because, you know, some of the people that she works with or something had been, you know, SICK, and she was like, oh, I can't believe that they got me SICK and blah, 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 blah. And I just go, oh my God, thank you for sharing her perspective. That's not my belief system, or that's not really how I run my life, but I appreciate you sharing with me, and I respect the man, and it was just like a really nice conversation. So a little bit later on, he had asked me, maybe like 10 minutes later, he's like, so what do you mean? How do you believe that you get SICK, or how do you believe that happens? And I had just said, you know, if I'm going through, and I don't like to call it a crisis, but like a healing upgrade, or if something is happening to me, I will say, okay, what area of my body is getting affected? Like I've shared with a lot of you that I had an eye upgrade the other day, and it was like a big, like human-y conjunctivitis-y, like it was all over the place. And I was given a new level of vision, a new level of sight. It was also, I was seeing things in my reality that were displeasing for me. So it kind of all clogged up. Also, if any parents of starseeds or any parents of very empathetic beings, when I was a kiddo, because I was very telepathic, I literally, it was a running joke. I got ear infections all the time. So if your kiddo is definitely more sensitive to energies and they're getting ear infections or eye infections, just know that they're clairvoyant, clairaudient in some capacity, and they're seeing the things, what they're, you know, like this is Jeffrey. This is my, you know, imaginary friend, but my guide that has been with me, an Arcturian guide that is, no, Andromedan, pardon me, that has been with me since I was a child. So very, very fascinating stuff. And so what I said to this friend of mine was, you know, whenever something is happening to my body, I know that it's for my greater development. Maybe I was going too fast. I needed to rest and slow down and being upgraded. I will check where this is happening in my chart. For example, the head, Aries runs the head. And I talk about that in the Aries season introductory video, where every sign is a body ruler. So I knew that literally the conjunction of the Chiron and North Node was happening like almost like around the day, like to exactitude, that this was happening to my eyes. And I know that as a channel, I'm getting new levels of vision. I'm getting new upgrades all the time. I'm getting new ways to communicate. And after that experience, I was literally out for like a week, just getting to rest and read Tolkien and slow down. I was able to slow down and integrate. Yeah, if there's ever anyone who is building their own business, who works for themselves, who's an entrepreneur, who is, you know, doing side hustles and things like that, you literally can check the comments and check the back end of the analytics of, you know, the YouTube studio. You can respond to emails. It's just like work doesn't end. So I know that if I'm going through a healing upgrade, and some people call it a healing crisis, and some people call it being SICK, that's just God saying, slow down. Let me do things. Let me take care of you. Let you find out how the people around you respond to when you don't handle everything so perfectly. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Virgo, and I'm talking to you, Cancer. Yeah, as the mom friends of the group, I'm talking to you. So when you are SACK and you ask your friends for help and they don't show up with soup, homemade soup like you make them, I want people there for your lows, for your highs, for your, you know, you got kale in your teeth. I want people hyping you up, but I want you to have, like me, I'm your accountability buddy, have an accountability buddy. Seriously, if you don't have people that are, okay, if the people around you, I'll just say this when it comes to our vibration and going into this energy, you can have very different beliefs. as the people around you. Very different beliefs. But if you don't have similar values, it's just tougher to navigate vibrationally. And I know the relationships are drastically changing video is for you. If this is like I feel like I don't know how to express this to my people, I don't know how to say this, then, reach out directly for a one-on-one session. We can just process that together and just do a little bit of a dramatization as to how you want to navigate that. But eclipse season, if you're going in and you're like, I've got like a 6 out of 10 friend, just know that the energies will just naturally separate you two. It'll naturally separate you two. I'm asking my guides, I'm listening to them. This is resonating for a lot of people. And just know that all of you have your own guides and spirit team and people with you, and they're very proud of the work that you're doing. Being human is incredibly difficult and wild and beautiful and lovely and wonderful. And it's just such an incredible experience right now to be human and to be evolving in the way that we are. It was like the match introductory video. Like, there's no warm up, you're on. There's no possible way to have prepared for this time period of the human experience. So just know that you can't mess this up because you're like one of the first people to have ever done it. So yes, every thought has been thought. Yes, there's someone who's done what you've done, but as a human collective, we're upgrading from one dimension to another in physical form. Yeah, that's brand new to the universe. That's exciting stuff. So talk about that later. So this is like a super duper charged full moon. So if my guides are saying, and I just had a full body chill, can you offer some like practical advice going into this? So I want you to, this is interesting. It's like, not pretend that you're in Sims, but we kind of are in a video game. So if you have that language, amazing. And we know that we are the director of the human avatar. And I say, okay, Sarah, pick up this cup. And she picks up the cup and then she takes a sip. She makes sure her pinky's out. You saw that. She takes a sip and then she puts it back down on the tray. And then she wants to put it on the table. And then she picks this up and she taps this. And it's just, so we can direct our human avatar with our conscious thought, with our beautiful brains, our reptilian brains. And we know that we're the director. The guides, your guides, all of our guides, God, the universe, wants us to view the story from above. I'm having a full body reaction. View the story from above and look at the role that you play. And I'm going to do a whole video on like the archetypes, the roles for the new world. And it's, to me, it kind of feels like, how do I start a story? How do I start a video in like the middle of this? But we're like, it's odd. It's like the cast of characters. Like, what is the cast for the reality that you want to live in? And view the players, view your life from above. I'm trying not to butcher this. And so if there are people in your life, so I just want to channel this. If there are people in your life that you can see in the season that you're in staying, then amazing. Then know that eventually that season will end, and like you're at a job that you know that you won't be in forever, and those people that were at their job and those comrades, those associates, for lack of a better term, they will come and go. So you don't really have to set boundaries with them, just know that that's a season. But then you look at your, later on in life when maybe you run your own business and you work from, home and the land, whatever view of the future that you have, and, you are not partnered or you are partnered, or you have friends that you don't have right now, or that, you don't see the people that are in your life now there. They want you to really start celebrating that friendship now, and maybe just like we still buy the bouquet even though we know the flowers will die. We know the flowers will die. We know that time period will come to an end. but look at your future. Look at the trajectory of your future. Take the knob of time and just turn it forward and see like, okay, I know that these friends will be here. I know that I'll have my partner, or I know my partner will be there. I know that. I know that. They just want you to acknowledge it. Your guides just want you to acknowledge if you're in a partnership that is not meant for you. They just want you to acknowledge it, just like that mirror exercise. Just say, this person isn't meant for me. They aren't. And just say that. And we've talked about this in prior videos, but it's been a long time since I've discussed the Venn diagram. So I want you to look at or not Venn diagram, it's like the little circles. Not even, I'm thinking of a friend's quote that just popped into my head, pardon me. So look at your life. You are the center of the mandala. You're the center cog of the mandala. And then I want you to look at the people that are in your immediate VIP circles, your ride or dies. And I just want to time out and say, like, your family that you're responsible for, that's another little bubble. I'm not talking about them. You can, be responsible for your parents and your siblings, but not have them in your vibrational energy fields, because you definitely can't mesh within them, but you can be responsible for them. I'm not talking about them. Your VIPs, your ride or dies, the people that you can, round table with and bounce your ideas off of. And, these are the people that, if you're meant to have children in the world, like, you would tell about the pregnancy, like, really, really early on. Those types of people. Those are your VIP people. Check them all off. Say, these are the people that I want there. If you have anyone in that VIP place that you're like, they don't belong here, then the outside of that is your acquaintance bubble. This is, your coworkers, like I had just mentioned. These are the people that, you see maybe once a quarter, or, you see them on social media every once in a while, but you don't share your intimate relationships with. Those are the acquaintances. And then everyone else is a follower, a fan, a spectator, just people in the reality that you live in. And they're just also archetypes and key players, but you don't have to even talk to them. So if you have people that are in your VIP that aren't meant to be there, you can energetically clash of the titans and just say, hey, you were here, I'm just moving you over here, and that's where you go. I talk a lot about this in the relationships are drastically changing video, so you can definitely go check that one out. If you need to have those conversations and you need someone to help you navigate that, definitely reach out directly for a one-on-one session. We can process that out. Yeah, the guides are saying that they're just very, very close to you right now. And just by acknowledging that to them, talk openly to your guides in the mirror, talk to yourself, talk to your higher self, ask your grandma in the dreams, however you'd like to do this. The energy will help right now. The energy will really help in ways that might not make sense. And they're not even giving me like the full view of it. They're just showing me like a wave of air. And, my guides have channeled this, and I'm in no way the first person to channel, like the wave of light and things like that are coming. It will all be accessible for everyone who chooses that reality. It's very exciting. We're all upgrading, and there's many things that are coming. It's, lots of people, like Ann Tucker is definitely someone that speaks to, and I linked her page in my Aries season video. And she talks about the waves of light and, the days of darkness and yada, yada, yada. And so the energy will help us, but we have to be truthful to ourselves first. I'm having a full body chill on this. We just have to be truthful to ourselves and acknowledge it to ourselves, and speaking it out gets it out. And so that way the energy can respond to us. It's like the laws of non-intervention, where even your galactic family can't come in and help you unless you ask them directly for help. Yeah, and that's good and bad. It's good for the bad guys and it's bad for the good guys. So it's also, we chose this as human beings, as the collective. Okay, I'm trying to think if there's any other information that... No, we'll get into it in the Patreon group. This is a really interesting and exciting one. Honest to goodness, I honestly feel as though if this was just a full moon, I would say really like release some people, like let it happen, be honest and integral, and do it before the Mercury retrograde or after the Mercury retrograde. really express it. But a lot of this, because of the inner work that we've all been doing, this will happen energetically, it will happen vibrationally. You couldn't really mess it up if you tried. Like, literally, isn't this so funny that really my more ostentatious, more self-presentation is a black on black jumper instead of like the Grecan dress that I was wearing with my dino sweater, and it wasn't me. It just wasn't right. It wasn't the vibe. And if I was off put by watching it, I wouldn't want any of y'all to be off put by watching it. So it was just, and that doesn't make sense. Literally, I was like, you're gonna erase an hour-long video and redo it? I was like, yes, Sarah, I am, because it's worth it. I'd rather be authentic in every possible capacity instead of being like, I was like 8 out of 10. I was like 8 out of 10. No, absolutely not. Not for you. I love you all so much. Yeah. It's just coming to me now. Last year, the end of March 2020, or this is my birthday, March 23rd, 2023, was the first day that Pluto went into Aquarius. And I have a Pluto in Aquarius part 1, part 2, there'll be a part 3 because we'll have a tiny little dip back into Capricorn the end of the year around September into November. I just want you to ask yourself, what, more woo-woo, spiritual concepts have you really integrated? Even if it's just an internal lie detector, even if it's a trusting your vibe, even if it's just healthy boundary setting, there's so much. Or even look at, from March 2020 until, March 2024. Doesn't even have to be the year. Look back and how far you've come to be, even if like that doesn't resonate, even if that's not a phrase where you're like, no, that's not for me. That's not for me. Just look how far you've come. Just look how far you've come. And you didn't really practice that. You didn't really like sit in meditation to integrate like, oh yeah, I'm going to learn about how to trust my vibe and trust this. You just did it. We were forced as a human collective, but we also chose this, to go through such a powerful experience from 2020 until now. Yeah. So know that this is happening naturally, but you just have to direct your focus. You just have to ask, if you're super duper busy, then just ask your ancestors before you go into your dream space. And starting with gratitude and having a gratitude practice is a really easy, quick way to start all of this. Yeah. Every day, every morning, what are you most grateful for? 3 things. And if you can't think of 3 things, think of 5 things. Yeah, I'm grateful for coffee. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for YouTube. I'm grateful for electricity. I'm grateful for the sunshine. I'm grateful for springtime. I'm grateful for candles, crystals. I'm grateful for the hardcover restaurant. I'm grateful for Cafe Sicilia. I'm grateful for Tono. I am grateful for my community members. I'm grateful for books. I'm grateful for, quick drying 7.07 pens as well as quick drying 1.0 pens. I am grateful for, oh my gosh, my connection to God, my connection to spirit, my channeling capabilities. I'm grateful for my upgrades. I am grateful for every single bit of this entire universe. There's two things I want to leave you with. One was a quote from Jim Carrey's commencement address at the Maharaji University of Management in 2014, definitely worth your time. And he said that the greatest currency that you ever have on this planet is the way that you make people feel. So know that by being your most authentic self, your most strange self, your most wibbly wobbly, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it anyways self, that gives the people around you the space to feel safe. It really does. It really does. And the last thing that I'll leave you with is, I'd heard this a long time ago, but just in the past week, it's really been hitting. Which is, I wouldn't trade my life, I wouldn't trade places with anyone. Yeah. Every fumble, every frustration, every little bit of what I have deemed to be a negativism, the reverence that I have for everything right now is so on purpose. So when I fully become that future version of myself that I see and connect to every single day, the reverence and the gratitude for everything, that doesn't go away. Ever. Ever. It's just having more to revere and more to respect and more to be grateful for. And so the abundance that I feel, the love that I feel for all of you is beyond what words could ever say. Truly. I'm a better person. I'm a better woman. I'm a better channeler. I'm a better consciousness because of every single one of you. So thank you. Thank you, as always. Thank you. I think that's it. I think that's it for today. We'll definitely get into it in the Patreon group. We'll definitely get into it in the All Signs readings. I'm jazzed about these, and I know that the guides are going to have a lot to say. The tarot readings, like, definitely it's worth the look-see. And again, I have the 7-day free trial, so if you want to give it a try, completely payment-free, you're welcome to do that. The link is the top of the description. So what questions do you have for me? Comment those below. Where are you in on the planet? Where are you in time and space? When are you watching this? Like, please share with the group. We've had some really incredible, I had a new subscriber just the other day from South Africa watching. Oh my goodness. Welcome. It's just so amazing to connect with you across time and space. I'm just so grateful for every single one of you. And it's a pleasure and a privilege to connect with you. So I'm hopeful that this information is helpful for you, offer some validation for how you might be feeling going into this time period. If you're ready to be, sovereign and not enmesh yourself with the energies around you, then go out and about in the world and enjoy that full moon eclipse energy. If not, take a long weekend and just chill and vibe at home. Libra, get a massage, do a little extra exciting bath and skincare regime, and just eat some good food and some good beverage and enjoy it. Yeah. Let me know how you do after this full moon eclipse as well. So I love you. I'll see you soon.